In a strategy adopted in September and published this week by the Ministry of Finance, appropriations to the Armed Forces Support Fund are expected to drop by about 20% by 2027. According to the new strategy, funds that fed into the fund as recently as 2023 are expected to drop by more than 19 billion zloty, this year by 10.3 billion, in 2025 by more than 12.5 billion, in 2026 by 8.6 billion zloty, and in 2027 by more than 16 billion, a total of nearly 67 billion zloty. In 2028, the fund is expected to contribute only about 35 billion zloty. They reduced the money allocated for the modernization of the Polish military in the period until 2027 from 314 billion zloty to 247 billion zloty. This means they are turning on the "money is not there and will not be there" protocol. According to the Law on Defense of the Fatherland, adopted 2 years ago, the Armed Forces Support Fund was created with the primary task of financing the purchase of equipment and arms for the Polish army. Funding for this fund is provided by proceeds from Treasury securities, state-guaranteed bonds issued by the National Development Bank, payments from the state budget, and a portion of the profit of the National Bank of Poland. It looks as though the current government is not taking advantage of the financing opportunities offered by the fund, and the new strategy of the Ministry of Finance does not go hand in hand with the expansion of the Polish military. The Armed Forces Support Fund for the current year has been used by only a few percent, despite the fact that 3/4 of the time has passed. The size of this fund is to be reduced by more than 66 billion zloty in the coming years. This means that the Polish army's rearmament program will be severely limited. That's because not much has been happening in technical modernization since the coalition took power, but the Ministry of Defense has recently been posting a lot of photos on the X portal of the continuing visit to South Korea by Deputy Defense Minister Paweł Bejda. Officially, everything is in the best order regarding negotiations with the Koreans, but unofficially, it is said that the Ministry of Defense expects Seoul to fully fund arms purchases. I'm not sure that such a technologically advanced and well-functioning armament company as the Korean one can afford to partner with someone as irresponsible and failing as the current team leading the Ministry of Defense. It's all about the large rearmament plan. K9 Thunder Cannon howitzers, Chunmoo rocket launchers and FA-50 aircraft, and 1,000 K2 tanks, most of which were to be produced in Poland. 180 tanks were supposed to be bought in September. They are not. Now there is talk of November. Most likely, such are the hearings in the Ministry of Defense, that this contract will also not be realized. And the reason for this is to be found precisely in the budget, in the fulfillment of the Armed Forces Support Fund. A few months ago, we arrived at a draft of the Ministry of Defense's financial plan, assuming a reduction of more than 57 billion zloty in central material plans by 2028. The current leadership of the Defense Ministry loudly denied it and boasted of a record budget for defense. And according to the new strategy, the reduction for new equipment for the military is now nearly 70 billion.